Hello. In our last video, we covered the basics on skills-based hiring, what it is, and why it's a really important positive trend in HR. Skills-based hiring, to recap, is the notion that filtering job seekers out because they lack educational pedigree or don't meet exact job requirements needs to be replaced by a system where filtering candidates in who have the necessary skills to perform in a role is the way that we go. Today, we're going to talk about how companies can make this change. How do you actually do skills-based hiring? And we're also going to argue that skills-based hiring, while a really great start, doesn't go far enough in certain ways in addressing the issues that companies face when hiring today. So first, how do you do skills-based hiring? Any playbook for adopting skills-based hiring really needs to focus on the top of your hiring funnel, your first points of contact with job seekers. The first step, I think, is to rethink your job requirements and overhaul your job postings to be more inclusive. Unless you have data, for example, that conclusively shows that only people with college degrees can be effective in a role, try removing degree requirements from your job descriptions. And while you're at it, for many roles, you can also remove or relax the requirement that a candidate has to have X number of years of experience in a role. Because the research shows that for most jobs, the quantity of experience is also a pretty weak talent signal. Instead of a laundry list of exact job requirements that you're asking your candidates to meet, some of which are really only nice to haves, focus only on the need to haves that you know drive performance in a given role. That way you'll cast a wider net and include talent hidden in plain sight that your old approach would have systematically excluded. Once you know the skills and abilities and behavioral traits that you need for a role, evaluate candidates objectively on those same things. An easy way to measure these things is to use validated pre-employment assessments. Wherever possible, if you are using assessments, try using them at the very top of the funnel, not after you've already excluded half the applicant pool based on something that is not on their resume. That way you'll surface talent by identifying people you might have otherwise overlooked. Later on in the process, try using structured interviews to measure and confirm those same qualities in an objective way. Great, so writing tighter job descriptions focused on the key skills needed for a role, and assessing candidates objectively on those criteria are the key parts of adopting skills-based hiring. But the skills-based part of the equation is a little problematic because it doesn't go far enough to solve today's talent shortage. If you define skills only as acquired knowledge and only hire based on that, then you're missing out on the many candidates who have the potential to learn and acquire knowledge and skills on the job. And in fact, it's that potential and underlying ability to grow that often drives the greatest performance long term. Here's an example I've seen at my own company. For technology sales roles, job descriptions you see often require 4-year degrees, industry experience, and mastery of CRM software. But are any of these really necessary and true predictors of sales performance in the long term? Learning how to use Salesforce or another CRM is something that many people can learn very quickly. And for sales specifically, top salespeople don't excel because of the university they went to, but because they have the existing attributes like strong verbal skills, a good work ethic, a drive to achieve, and quick learning ability. Employers would do well to identify those qualities, put those in their job descriptions instead, and then measure them with assessments. We've followed this exact approach at Criteria, and today many of our strongest salespeople never had a job in sales before they came here.